In this burnout tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to balance a tire. So I will admit this is a pretty niche video. Most people won't need to know how to balance a tire because you do need a fancy machine to do so. But in case you do wanna learn, this is for you. So the first step is going to be setting up the tire on the machine, and you're gonna need a few different pieces for that. This also varies depending on what machine you're using, but right here I've got an older snap-on balancer, and I'm gonna show you how to do this on this. So right here you can actually see we've got a bunch of different pieces, and these pieces will go onto the shaft right here, and then that will help hold the tire in place and center it while it's spinning on the machine. So you're gonna wanna take all your pieces and find the right one for the size of your hole on your tire. This will be this one right there. And like I said, you put that on the shaft on the balancer, then you grab the tire and put it up through the hole. So this is important. When you get the tire up onto the balancer, you wanna make sure that you actually get it on the piece that we put on before. Next, you're gonna wanna grab this thing. I actually don't know what it's called, but there's a couple different types of these. Like I've seen them in wheel format, so it looks like a steering wheel, or you have them like this. But then you'll grab your plastic cup. Sometimes they're hard rubber, whatever. You grab that and make sure you get the correct one for this. Sometimes they come in different sizes. And then you just thread this guy onto that shaft. And you want to tighten this all the way down on the wheel. You don't need to crank it on and make it hard to come off, but you do want to make sure that the tire is secure on the shaft. So there are 3 different measurements that you're going to need to get on your wheel to balance it properly. The first one is the wheel diameter. So you can actually find that size, the size diameter of your rim on the tire right here. It'll bounce around on a couple sides, but you'll be able to see that size on the sidewall of the tire. This one is 15, so I'll go and turn this dial to 15 like that. And like I said, this depends on your machine, but there will be a lot of different methods for setting these 3 measurements, but these 3 measurements are key. So now we have rim width. You're gonna need one of these calipers to measure your rim width. And so you'll notice that there's 2 different points on it, and you'll wanna line up those points with the groove on the tire. So it goes right in there like that on both sides. So that's how you measure the rim width, and you can see this is a 7.5 right here. So I'm gonna take this off, go back to the machine. We're already at 7, and then just line it up to 7.5. The last measurement is going to be the offset. So that's the distance from the wheel to a specific point on the machine. Your balancing machines will have a device on it to measure the offset. So you'll take this device and push it up against that same spot on the wheel, and then we can see that this is about a 4.75 offset right here. So I'll go back to my dial and I'll grab 4.75 there. So then from there, we're ready to run the tire and get the numbers for where we gotta put weights on it. Sometimes there will be a button on the machine to press start or run. On this specific machine, you just have to spin the tire and it'll start balancing on its own. So I just gotta spin it, you'll hear the beep, and that means it's balancing it, or it's measuring the balance. So now it's done. While the tire's spinning, you wanna watch how it's spinning and see if it's bouncing around a bunch or if it's wobbling. And if it is, that either means that you don't have it set up properly, or that could mean that the wheel is bent and you might need to get a new wheel depending on how bad the bend is. If the wheel is bent, then that will affect the numbers that are output, and those won't be accurate numbers, so you should not balance it like that. And this tire is already balanced, so we should come up with 0 or pretty close to 0 on these weights. So we've got 0 on the outside of the tire, that's good. Then we have 0.5 ounces on the left side. So you'll notice that I'm spinning the tire. Most tire machines will have some sort of indicator on both sides of your wheel to show where the weight needs to go. So this is all lined up now, and it tells you that it goes right at the top in the center of the wheel. So then say I wanted to properly balance this tire right now, I would take a 0.5 ounce wheel weight and hammer it onto the backside right up here. That just about covers it for how to balance a tire. Obviously, I didn't actually balance this tire because, like I said, it is balanced. Typically, the rule of thumb is if it's 0.5 ounces or less, then you don't really need to add a weight because those weights are so small that it runs pretty good anyways. And if the weight is 0.25 or higher, then that might mean that you have an issue with your wheel or anything like that. Like I said, that's it for how to balance a tire. If you have any questions about this, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and definitely subscribe if you're not, because we make tons of tutorial content like this and a bunch of other really fun stuff. Also, make sure to check out our merch store at burnoutshow.com/store. You can find awesome designs like this t-shirt and like my shoes. We actually just added these shoes to the store and you can get some for yourself. They're pretty sick, if I do say so myself. And so make sure you check those out. We've got a ton more stuff coming out, more designs for shoes and other products, but tons of stuff on that store. Make sure you go check it out and get something for yourself. But that's gonna be it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helped.